what's been the biggest driving factor of your success throughout your career?
It is my desire to deliver the very best that I've always felt for myself. Even when I was a little kid before movies, it's when I had any job, I always wanted to understand how to do that job and then do it at the very highest level that I possibly can.
Do you not fear anything?
No, it's not a matter. I don't mind being afraid. I want an adventurous life. I want it. And don't be so afraid to be afraid or nervous. The important thing is to keep pursuing your dreams and finding accurate things that are going to add to your life and to others.
That is a clip from the School of Hard Knocks, the business media platform founded by 23-year-old James Dumoulin, who's been landing interviews with everyone from Mission Impossible star Tom Cruise to top business leaders and billionaires. Today, James's brand is on a mission of his own. He's amassed 15 million followers across social media by inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs and investors with real-world advice from millionaires and billionaires on how to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive live in studio is the School of Hard Knocks co-founder, James Dumoulin. How did you grab Tom Cruise for that?
Paramount reached out to us.
Wait, I'm sorry. They reached out to you.
They reached out to us, and ironically, it was Tom's idea, actually. I guess he'd been seeing our content for a couple months, and he had a movie coming out, and he's like, might as well get on all the hot channels, and we're one of the biggest in the world right now, so we made it happen.
Yeah, but he could have picked any of these crazy influencers who don't have a lot of substance. He picked you. So you're very young, 23. When did you start the School of Hard Knocks?
I started this, I was a freshman in college at the University of Texas, so it was 2021. I think I was about 19 years old. I just saw an immense opportunity with the creator economy. At the time, it was a $200 billion industry, and I was blessed to be able to start this channel with my two incredible co-founders, my brother, Jack Dumoulin, my other childhood friend, Joshua Smith, and we're like, there's a huge opportunity. We had a passion for business. Let's go all in. And
you decided to go around, find wealthy people. Right off the bat, you didn't get the big billionaires, right?
Let me tell you this.
How'd you do this?
When I wasn't in class at the University of Texas, my brother and I would spend hours walking around downtown Austin. We'd get 50 no's to get one yes. But I think that that's a part of the game, and one of the biggest lessons that we've learned in business is that, look, every no is a step closer to a yes. I'm sure anybody that's built and had a lot of success in their industry, they get told no all the time. But as long as you can remember that no just means not yet, you'll eventually get those yeses and get to the money.
You've done celebrities, but you pick celebrities who have a track record of being good business minds. Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal, the NBA star, he has his hands in so many businesses. He has really used his money wisely. You've talked to Will Smith, the actor, CEOs of Chipotle. Arizona Iced Tea is one of your more recent ones. Yeah. I'm really interested to know if there's a common thread, and what is that one question you ask them all?
There's a lot of common threads. One that comes to mind right off the bat is that billionaires think in decades, not days. And I think that this is a big problem that my generation struggles with, is there's this instant gratification. But I've learned, and just as an example, I recently interviewed Reid Hoffman, who's the founder of LinkedIn. He sold LinkedIn to Microsoft for $26 billion. And I asked him, I said, Reid, if you had to start over and make $1 billion in 1 year, what would you do? He said, look, I don't ever play a one-year game. I only play a 10-year game. And I've noticed that, right? They think in generations, they think so much bigger. And you got to get out of this short-term thinking. You got to get away from people that are going to kill your ambition. I always say that the biggest way, the fastest way to kill a big dream is to introduce it to a small mind.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And you talk to anybody. When you hear their lowest moments, it was when somebody tried to tell somebody whom they respected in their life.
It's crazy.
Tried to say, it's not such a great idea. Go get a real job.
Yeah.
Tune those people out is what I'm hearing you say that you've learned from them.
I'll tell you what, there's a saying, nobody else's thoughts ever paid my bills. And I firmly believe in that, because like, why listen to negative people? That's why one of the best decisions that me, my brother, my childhood friend made was kind of getting out of our hometown. We moved to a city like Austin, Texas, where entrepreneurship was receptive. People supported one another, and that collaboration, being around that environment, enabled us to build a multi-million-dollar business in our early 20s.
In the past week, you interviewed self-made billionaire. He's the head of Fanatics, Michael Rubin, and he's really held up as an example of somebody who just started and began building. It took him years to create this big sports, gigantic platform that does merch and all kinds of activities and experiences. Let's listen to the interview that James did with Michael Rubin.
Before you built a billion-dollar company, did you have anybody that doubted you?
People doubt me every day. I love doubters. You know, doubters are great. If you look at a doubter, that's motivation. I mean, think about, we just got in the sports betting business 2 years ago. Everyone said, Fanatics has no chance. This is a duopoly by FanDuel, by DraftKings. Mike Rubin's going to fail miserably. He's going to piss away billions of dollars. I said, bring on that hate.
Yeah.
Bring on that. I love that. You know what? We're now the third biggest sports book. We've been live for 20 months. We're just getting started.
And we see what he was able to create. Who struck you the most when it came to dovetailing a life with success of business? Because, you know, you want to not just sit there and work business, right? You want to also have an important life that gives back.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if any one specific person comes to mind, but what I will say is that one of the biggest things that stands out to me above all else is, you know, you can talk all about money all you want in the interviews, which is what we do. But I'll tell you one other common thread that I've really noticed is that just the incredible role that faith has played in a lot of these people's lives. Putting God first. I've realized and I've learned early on that the money, the relationships, the businesses, at the end of the day, it's a dying dead road. It doesn't last forever. So I think that common thread of having that belief in God and having that belief in something bigger than you is something that I think really stands out whenever I'm conducting these interviews.
And you have been very smart when it comes to checking all the boxes and spreading yourself out. You do YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Let's talk about your followers. You've grown it to what, total 15 million?
Yeah, over 15 million followers.
Over 15 million. And something like 4 billion views you've generated over 4 years.
Well over.
Who's your demographic? Because you're aiming to help the next generation of investors and people out there who are facing a very difficult time where they can't afford a house, even if they have a full-time job. And it's very upsetting for a lot of college grads and people who didn't go to college.
Right. You know, when we originally started the channel, the demographic that we were hoping to target was actually that next generation of high school and college kids. And the beautiful thing about having omnipresence on social media, right? We've got millions of followers across Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, is we've been able to build different audience across all the platforms, right? Obviously, Facebook's a much older demographic compared to TikTok, but
you just really gut punched a lot of people.
Well, I mean, it's ultimately the truth. But what we've learned is that, you know, who's the most receptive to it is actually that, like, late 20s to mid 30s.
Yes.
And I think the reason why is because they're at that point in their life where they're like, I wasted my 20s. It's time for me to get serious about investing in myself, about maybe going all in on myself, building a business, or just getting savvy, you know, with you know, becoming financially free. And so I think that that's why that demographic has been so strong across all of our platforms.
Time to stop with the $17 Long Island iced teas and the $7 lattes and start focusing on the future. It is great to see you, James. Will you come back?
I'll be back. You let me know. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, James Dumoulin. And by the way your name is spelled, Dumoulin.
Yes.
French.
Yes.
The background of French. It's very aristocratic.
Right. Well, thank you for having me. I had a blast here.
It's great to have you. Good luck to you and the School of Hard Knocks.
We'll be back. Thank you.